President Trump is rolling back Obamacare's contraceptive mandate, giving businesses and organizations more power to object to providing that coverage. The administration says it's a question of conscience. Critics say it's an attack on women's health. Correspondent Kristin Fisher is at the White House tonight on what the new rule means and what possibly comes next. Good evening, Kristin.
Good evening, Brett. This new rule is being challenged by the ACLU, Planned Parenthood, and almost every Democrat on Capitol Hill. Nancy Pelosi, she calls it despicable, but House Speaker Paul Ryan, he says this is a landmark day for religious liberty.
It's a change that could impact hundreds of thousands of women. The Trump administration announcing today an expansion of exemptions to the Affordable Care Act's contraceptive mandate, which requires employers to provide birth control coverage for its employees. Before, these exemptions were limited to churches and some religious organizations, but now, according to a rule released today by the Department of Health and Human Services, those exemptions have been expanded to include any company or nonprofit with moral objections as well.
The president believes that the freedom to practice one's faith is a fundamental right in this country, and I think all of us do. And that's all that today was about. Our federal government should always protect that right, and as long as Donald Trump is president, he will.
The Department of Health and Human Services estimates the new rule will only impact about 120,000 women, but Democrats put the number much higher. In a statement, the president of Planned Parenthood said, quote, the Trump administration just took direct aim at birth control coverage for 62 million women. This is an unacceptable attack on basic health care that the vast majority of women rely on. The ACLU calls the new rule discriminatory and has already filed a lawsuit. But for President Trump, this is the fulfillment of a campaign promise and a continuation of an executive order signed last May to protect religious freedom.
With this executive order, we also make clear that the federal government will never, ever penalize any person for their protected religious beliefs.
President Trump is also reportedly picking apart at the Affordable Care Act by refusing requests from Republican governors and senators, and in a state he won by nearly 10 points, Iowa. According to the Washington Post, President Trump has personally directed administration officials to deny requests to fix the state's Obamacare market, despite a letter from Republican Governor Kim Reynolds, which claims her constituents are facing, quote, an immediate collapsing market that could leave thousands without health insurance and the rest with 56% or higher premium rate increases. And when asked today if the report was true, the White House press secretary said,
I'm not aware of that specific directive, so I'd have to check into that and get back to you.
Now, the administration has also cut the enrollment period in half and the advertising budget by nearly 90%. Democrats say that it all adds up to sabotage, but President Trump, remember, he said repeatedly that perhaps he should just let Obamacare implode. Then maybe Democrats and Republicans might be more in the mood to cut a deal. Brett?
Kristin Fisher live on the North Lawn. Kristin, thank you.